My beloved, come closer now, and let my voice lower to the quiet place where your breath meets your bones. I am speaking to the small chamber of your heart, where you have been holding your questions like stones, and tonight those stones will become seeds. Hear me as if the air itself carries my hand, soft and certain, across your forehead, and feel for a moment the warmth of attention, like sunlight pooling on the inside of your chest, gentle, gold, undeniable. You have walked through rooms of waiting and worn the thin cloak of hope until it frayed. You have whispered petitions in the dark and practiced the faith of small secret things. I have noticed every hush, every sigh, every quiet attempt to trust. When the world pressed its heavy expectations against you, this is not a lecture or a distant promise. It is an immediate touch. Now rise, my child. Receive this blessing. Let the cadence of those words land slow inside you, not as a command that frightens, but as a lighthouse calling you back to shore. Imagine first a single ribbon of golden light descending through the ceiling of your soul. See it thread through the crowded, dusty chambers where doubt has settled. Watch as that light pauses at the place where your breath catches, and then pours in like warm oil, smoothing the creases in your worry, melting the hard angles of fear into roundness. Visualize a gate before you, ornate and old, rusted from seasons of waiting. Feel my fingers on the latch. Hear the old hinges give way. See the gate swing open without strain, revealing a path carpeted in soft moss and morning dew. Walk through it in your mind and notice how the air tastes of possibility, like rain before harvest. Picture now a sudden rain of small miracles, each drop a blessing, falling over the parched parts of your life. Some drops are tiny, almost invisible, the kind that cushion a bruise or open a door quietly, and some fall broad and bright like clean currency washing stains from worry, and all of them land exactly where the dry places have been deepest. These are not metaphors that vanish when you rise. These images are invitations to participate. Breathe with me. In, gold. Out, release. In, presence. Out, fear. Hear how my voice steadies the tempo of your heart. You have not been abandoned, you have not been forgotten, and the pauses in your story have been full of unseen preparation. There is a pattern of mercy woven through the delays. Every closed door was a careful hand redirecting you away from what would have diminished you and toward what will expand you. You have cataloged the reasons why it seemed impossible: timing, lack, missed chances, and you have rehearsed those fears until they sounded like facts. I tell you plainly now, your past missteps are not barricades, but weathered stones I use to build a strong foundation beneath your feet. Do not measure your worth by yesterday's failures. Measure your readiness by your willingness to keep your hands open and your voice honest. When worry knocks at your thought door, do not build walls with rehearsal of what might go wrong. Instead, notice the knock, breathe, and let it pass like wind through a tall grass. In the hush that follows, you will feel the soft settling of a presence that steadies the trembling place inside you. Feel that presence as if someone sets a warm palm across your shoulders and breathes hope into the hollow under your ribs. That warmth is not a distant theory. It is labor, a moving force that rearranges the atoms of your circumstance toward favor. You will find that as you stop trying to wring control from the future, strength is poured into the quiet pocket of your now. Energy arrives to fill what you thought was empty, and that energy is not random. It is designed for you. See this now. A river of light begins at your feet, and as you stand in it, the water rises around the ankles of fear, then the calves of doubt, and finally laps the knees of hesitation. Step forward, and the current carries at you gently, refusing to drown you, but insisting you move. There are times I will ask you to step without full vision, because the seeing I provide is more about alignment than display. Your role is not to have every answer but to hold a steady yes. The miracle I usher in will often start as small kindnesses that surprise you in your routine. A phone call that arrives with the perfect word. An unexpected check that balances more than a ledger. An invitation you had stopped hoping for. And these are the quiet signatures of the great unfolding. Do not dismiss them. When abundance begins to come, it will come wrapped in tenderness, in ways that feel like providence woven into your ordinary life. Lift your gaze and remember moments when things turned on a whisper. Someone's mercy, a sudden favor, a door that creaked open where you had given up knocking. Those were not accidents. Let them stand as proof that the invisible is working on your behalf. Now, command your attention to a new vision. See a vault of light overhead, a celestial vault that hums like a sacred archive where your desires are carefully catalogued and never misfiled. Reach up in your mind and touch one request, and watch as a beam shoots back down to meet your hand, like an answer traveling where it was always meant to travel. This is how small faith moves mountains, by aligning your will to a power that carries what you place into it and multiplies it beyond natural arithmetic. You have been trying to do a weight's work with no help. That ends now. Receive this blessing and let the effort fall from your shoulders. There is a sacred economy in which seeds sown in honesty yield harvests that exceed calculation. Imagine a ledger that credits every sacrifice you made in secret, each hour spent waiting, every tear tucked away, each moment you chose love over resentment. And then watch as those entries become deposits of favor, interest compounded in unseen ways. If your mind whispers, "What if I am not ready?" answer it with compassion, but refuse to yield power to its fear. Readiness is not perfection. Readiness is an open hand and a willing heart. Say aloud, even if softly, "I will take the step. I will move forward. I will trust." These words do more than comfort. They engage a law of spiritual motion that begins to reconfigure what stands against you. Feel now a golden light sweeping along the timeline of your life, sweeping away the cobwebs of regret and polishing the glimpses of courage you scarcely remember. In that light you are recast, not flawless, but refined, not empty, but full of promise. Let gratitude rise like a slow tide in your chest. Thank you for what is, thank you for what will be, and you will notice the inside of you shifting. Gratitude loosens the hold of anxiety and opens channels for blessing to flow. Visualization. Imagine a garden at sunrise, beds tilled by patient hands, seeds placed with prayerful care. Now see those seeds sprout in quick succession, green and sure, petals unfolding into abundance. Taste the air there, floral and sweet, and know that every small act of faith you planted has been watered in invisible ways. This season will not be all grand epiphanies. Much of it will be tender plumbing, pipes being laid, roots taking hold, foundations settling, and you are called to trust the slow, steady craftsmanship of transformation. I am with you in every mundane task. I sanctify your hands that stir porridge, your feet that make the same commute, your lips that speak the same simple kindness. These ordinary acts are the currency of the kingdom I bring. When you feel unqualified to receive, remember that invitation itself is proof of qualification. You were summoned because you are needed, not because you are already complete. There is a purpose in each paused season. Your heart is being readied to hold more without breaking, to steward what arrives without being crushed by it. Let me speak directly to the places where you have been most afraid, the places you thought were too damaged to be chosen. I declare now over those wounds that they are the very sites from which new fruit will grow. The scars are not stains to hide, but map lines showing where healing has passed through. Picture a broken instrument, cracked and imperfect, placed into a master's hands. From the cracks, the most exquisite music emerges. notes full of character and resonance you could never manufacture. Your brokenness is becoming the source of a sound that will comfort others. When you feel doubt whispering that the good belongs to someone else, listen, and then let the whisper dissolve. The truth you can carry is this: what I offer is abundant and particular. There is enough of my favor to fill every honest longing, and you are included. Believe it deeply enough to act on it. There will be times when you must act before certainty arrives. Obey the small nudges to speak, to write, to give, to forgive, to walk. Those are the bridges between waiting and receiving. Now, as you stand in this quiet exchange, allow a miracle image to settle. See an ancient wheat field bending under a sudden wind that drops gold coins like kernels across the furrows. Each coin a tangible provision, each spark a resource you need to begin anew. And pick them up in your hands. Feel their weight. Feel the legitimacy of provision. And know that material blessing can be a sacred sign of spiritual release, not merely a reward for performance. I instruct you. Open your palms. Say yes. Receive. Make space in your life for new things, not by frantic clearing or exacting rituals, but by gentle unburdening, setting down what you were never meant to carry. The act of letting go invites rescue. Give me your lists of what must happen, your anxious plans, your frantic calculations. Hand them over like a child turning a toy into the lap of a trusted parent. You are not relinquishing agency. You are inviting partnership. There is a divine economy that exchanges your striving for rest and your striving for fruitfulness. When you begin to trust this trade, your pace will change. Less frantic, more graceful. Your decisions will be guided by clarity rather than compulsion. Love will become your compass. In the hush between beats, hear my promise to you. I will not withhold good, nor will I allow the hands that reach toward you to be empty. What you have called delay is often my careful preparation. Expect alignment. People, places, and opportunities will begin to arrange themselves around the new you. Opportunities will come that match the measure of your heart. Preparation will meet provision. Prosperity will arrive in forms both ordinary and surprising, sometimes in money, sometimes in relationships repaired, sometimes in doors of influence clicking open. All of it bears the stamp of intent and favor. Anchor yourself now in a short, steady affirmation flow. Speak these aloud, softly, as if each is a small key. I am worthy of abundance. I am guided with clarity. I receive grace and provision. I move in courage and truth. I am a magnet for blessings. I am rooted in faith. I am open to miracles. Let each line settle. Let each be a pebble dropped into still water, ripples moving outward into the corners of your life. See how peace returns to your chest as you agree with these truths. You are not being called to performance but to presence. Your next steps will not require the perfect plan. They will require a steady yes and a willingness to do the next revealed thing. When fear claws at your resolve, picture again a doorway of light and feel my hand steady on the back of your neck, guiding you through. This guidance is intimate. It will come as a whisper when you are still enough, and as a nudge in the bustle of the day. Learn to listen in both places. The transformation being birthed within you is not fragile. It is the kind that survives storms, anchored by purpose, and grown through endurance. There will be seasons of calm and seasons of rapid change, and both are sacred. In the quiet, I teach you patience. In the momentum, I teach you stewardship. Do not despise the slow rootings. They create the canopy under which your harvest will cool. Now, let yourself receive the reality that grace is not a one-time event, but a continuous garment. Slip it on now, and let it drape over shoulders that have grown tired from carrying alone. Wear generosity toward yourself, as a garment of honor. Rest in that mercy. Feel the air change in your lungs as relief arrives. That gentleness that whispers you can breathe, you can rest, you can wait without panic. There is an energy rising in you that will not be exhausted by old patterns. It is the new rhythm of a life aligned with kindness, with courage, with steady purpose. As you move forward, be alert to the small confirmations. A light in a conversation, a tightened knot easing, a face turning toward you with encouragement. Each is a breadcrumb leading you deeper into the life prepared for you. Hold fast to gratitude, even when results are not yet visible. Gratitude is the soil in which miracles sprout. When you falter, return to this breath, this presence, this voice, and hear me say again, you are more than enough. You are chosen for flourishing. You are being remade into a vessel for good that will serve many. In the closing of this sacred hour, let your chest open and receive these closing assurances. I am with you. I will not leave you. And I am turning your story toward a season of fruit. Place your hand over your heart, feel its rhythm, and let these final affirmations anchor you now. I am loved beyond measure. I am provided for, always. I am guided and protected. I am being renewed. I am free to receive. I am blessed and I bless others. I am ready to walk in abundance. I am chosen. I am healed. I am whole. Feel the hush deepen as I continue beside you, my presence folding itself into the small, steady space where you have carried both yearning and restraint. Listen as if the air has learned to speak comfort, and know that I am building not with thunder but with steady, invisible hands, constructing rooms of rest inside the places you thought forever hollow. Let your shoulders sink. Notice how this very inhalation draws a new kind of oxygen into the places where doubt used to live. Picture a soft dawn unspooling across a distant shore. Not the same image you held before, but a fresh horizon painted in pearly blues, and the faint blush of promise. See the tide rewriting footprints you feared permanent. In that scene, a table is set with simple provisions. Bread broken for courage, a cup filled with clarity, and a single candle that refuses to be snuffed by any gust. Approach that table in your imagination and accept the warmth placed there for you alone. Visualize next a long hallway lined with closed trunks, each trunk labeled by a memory that has bound you. Name them silently if you must, and watch as gentle hands, mine, unlatch them one by one. When each lid lifts, the air inside exhales relief, the heavy objects inside becoming light as feathers, and the hallway brightens with the freed space. See also a courtyard where seeds you once feared wasted are now sprouting unexpectedly. Shoots pushing through soil cracked by seasons of neglect. Bend down and brush your fingers across those tender greens and feel a tenderness answer back. A reminder that persistence, even hidden, has been doing its work. This is not a repeat of what you heard. It is the next movement in the composition of your life. Act now. Stand firm in the small things. Receive this offering I lay before you. Do not shrink from it. Your compliance is not the price of my favor, but the posture of your partnership with possibility. There are currents moving that will not be visible at first. Like subterranean rivers, they reshape the landscape where you walk long before the surface tells the tale. Trust the sound you cannot hear yet. It is the flow arranging resources to meet your need. You have practiced anxious arrangements for so long that the idea of an effortless provision feels risky. Yet risk here is the doorway to relief. Open your hands in this moment, imagining them cupped toward the sky, and allow what comes to land easily. A new kind of encouragement is arriving through small encounters. A voice that speaks your name with respect. A message that arrives exactly when your courage margin is thin. A stranger's kindness, that steadies a hope you thought would topple. These are the gentle signals of a larger alignment knitting itself around you. Do not mistake the humble origins of these signs for insignificance. The greatest turnarounds often begin with crumbs that lead to feasting. I command you now, step when I press your heart, move when my quiet directs you. Move not from frantic urgency but from a response tuned to rhythm. And observe how the world begins to bend its schedule in deference to the steadiness of your obedience. There will be moments when your inner committee argues loudly, the critic, the cautious one, the one who counts losses before gains. And in those moments, remember to return to the soft quiet we are making here together. Breathe in permission, breathe out the need to prove. When you do this, unseen rearrangements take place. Contacts you needed appear. Finances open in forms you had not foreseen. Relationships shift toward healing as mutual walls dissolve. Visualize now a map unfolding across your lap. Old routes crossed out with ink and new paths drawn in luminous color. Trace the new line with your finger and feel a tremor of expectancy that is not anxious but awake. This map is a covenant of direction. You will not be abandoned mid-route. Receive this. Where you have invested patience, harvest will be tender and lasting. Where you have sown compassion, returns will come multiplied in ways you did not predict. Your story is not being edited by absence, but being authored by presence. In the quiet, confess aloud a single truth. You are seen. And let it ring in the vaulted space of your chest. Saying it breaks a small spell of isolation and invites partnership. Allow me to show you how supply arrives. Sometimes through the restoration of a relationship. Sometimes through an idea that becomes currency. Other times through an internal shift that makes you resourceful in a new way. Each manner carries my signature. Gentle, precise, good. Watch for the difference between panic-driven solutions and the kind that hums with rightness. When an opportunity knocks that resonates as tender and wise, step through without over-explaining. You are being trained to steward blessing, not merely to hold it. This training will require humility, the sort that keeps your hands open rather than clenched, and courage, the type that walks toward uncertainty because it trusts the one who provides. Now, take a moment in your imagination and see a field of lanterns set afloat over dark water. Each lantern is a hope you dared to release, and as they drift, they light the face of your future. Send one small lantern tonight, perhaps a simple offering of gratitude, and watch how its light joins the constellation. How the water rearranges to carry your intentions forward. Command your heart to rest into this confidence. You are appointed for what is coming. Let the words that follow be your quiet weapons against returning fear. Speak them and believe them, not as a mantra to command the cosmos, but as a covenant you accept. I am invited. I am sufficient. I am provisioned. I am becoming. I am released.